Today, I want to talk about a topic that is very important, and that is boundaries. And if you have seen some of my videos, you might have seen that I had a period in my life a few years ago when I had many panic attacks, a lot of anxiety, and it was a very difficult time for me. And when I now see back, I recently got some more perspective on what was going on, because it felt like I was standing in the middle of like a sandbank in the middle of the sea, and all these waves would come crashing at me, and these waves were people's opinions, people's perspectives of me, people's needs, and I could see myself with no walls around me, no boundaries. I was just completely vulnerable, and all of these things would come wash in and wash out again and really affect me and determine how I behaved, how I acted, how I thought about myself, my moods and everything. And it's interesting to see that at that time I was actually in a good place in my life. I loved my job. I had just become a leader in my church, and I really liked preaching, and everything was actually going really well. And then suddenly, when I was visiting a school to be an examiner in an English exam, I was sitting there watching this girl present something, and then out of the blue, I got this wave of fear, just complete chaos inside of me. Really like this panic feeling that I had to run out. I can't stay here. I thought, what is happening? I felt really nauseous. I needed to go to the bathroom. My heart was racing and I couldn't recognize myself. It was like I felt like I was going crazy. I could not see that this is not me. And I prayed inside of me and I said, Lord, I have to stay here. Help me. I can't ruin this girl's exam. Please help me to stay here. And I finished what I was supposed to do, but inside of me, my body was in complete chaos. And after that time, this happened several times in different degrees. But so I see how when people were disappointed at me, I would feel crushed. And when people were proud of me, that would drive me into performance. And my identity was like being dragged in all directions. Until a point when my body couldn't handle it anymore. And the walls I didn't build along months and years, my body suddenly built like this. In a matter of seconds, it was like my body just put up really high walls that protected me in a way that I couldn't protect myself. And in the months that followed, I felt useless. And many times I would be like feeling okay and normal, doing something, and then suddenly this fear would take over and I wouldn't be able to preach or teach or lead or parent, and I couldn't even leave the house. I held my husband's hand and said, can you hold my hand and pray? Just pray for me. I can't do anything. And I felt like a child, a vulnerable child, a baby, paralyzed by fear. So now I really understand the importance of having boundaries and knowing who you're going to let in, who is going to have access to your identity, to your inner self, your inner being. And it's not that I have figured this out yet. I am still in the middle of a process, and I'm like, oh no, now I'm letting all these waves in again. Lord, help me. And I'm still figuring it out how I can do this every day in practice, But what I know is this: my identity and my self-worth are precious. And I can't let everybody have access to it. I can't let everybody have an opinion that will go in to who I am and how I feel about myself. And many times people do this. Most of the time they don't even know what they're doing, right? And they can do it by praising you, and they can do it by criticizing you. They control you the same way. And their words, sometimes even their critical looks, their actions, everything around you can put chains on you, and they will yank you in all directions and have control over who you are. And how can I protect myself? How can I know who I allow in? And it's not like, okay, we have many layers of people who we let come closer than others, but it's not like I cannot let my husband or my kids and my parents even to determine who I am, my identity. So what I've done, I have chosen to give my inner self, my identity, to the one who created me. My Father in heaven, His Son Jesus Christ, my Lord, and His Holy Spirit. The Trinity, they can have access to my inner self. And I know that they love me fully. They know all my faults, all my weaknesses, and they know how precious my life is, my identity is, and I can place it in their hand. I can say, God, in you I am safe because your Son, Jesus Christ, paid, He died so I would be safe in you. And He will protect you from all these waves. In Him, your identity is constant. You are standing on solid ground in Him. It doesn't depend on the circumstances, how much money you have, if you're successful in God, in the world's eyes or not, in people's eyes or not, what they think or not think about you. It doesn't matter. Your identity is safe in His hands. And there I can be free, truly free, from all these chains that are yanking me all around. God just breaks all these chains in your life, and He says they are not going to control you anymore. What matters is what I think about you, and I love you just the way you are. And I want to finish this video by saying this to you. All of the people you blame, or you say it's the circumstances, or if it's this person that is destroying my inner self or who I am, or this person is just throwing my identity in the ground in my heart and is breaking me into pieces. You have all these people that you might blame for confusing you, yanking you around, and going through your boundaries. Listen, that's not their responsibility to put up boundaries for you. You have to put up the boundaries for yourself. It is your responsibility, and it's your choice who you're gonna let in and determine who you are. I chose to put my life in God's hands, and whoever wants to get to me has to go through Him first. What are you going to do? Have a nice day, and I see you soon. Bye-bye.